Hello everyone. In this video, I will give you some background on how we solve the mass balance equation that we derived in last few videos for oil and water flow in a porous medium. This will include how the relative permeability curves look. Then I will tell about how the fractional flow curve look, how we non-dimensionalize the equation. So these things we will cover in this video. So we have derived this mass balance equation which is dependent on SW and QW, and our motive is to find SW as a function of X and time, and we have this one dimensional flow in a porous medium where we are injecting water and we are producing water and oil. So this is the mass balance equation, but you see this mass balance equation has a dependent variable SW and also has a dependent variable QW. Independent variables are time and space X. So we modified this mass balance equation to this equation where we have SW as independent variable, QT is the total flux of the fluids, which is QT is equal to QW plus QO, and we said that QT will remain constant. And now QW, which is the flow of water, can be written in terms of QT and FW, where fractional flow of water FW we defined for two cases. In one case, we said that we will not consider any gravity, we will consider the flow is perpendicular to gravity, and we will also not consider any capillary pressure. So pressure gradient for water flow and pressure gradient for oil flow are same, and there is no difference between the pressure of oil and water. So modified Darcy's law can be used to find the flow rate of oil and water, and fractional flow can be described like QW by QO plus QW, and we can substitute these modified Darcy's law here and then find FW, which is the fractional flow of water, which is given by this equation. But if we want to consider gravity and capillary pressure, then the flow of water is governed by first of all the pressure difference, where QT term will come, and also the density difference of oil and water and capillary pressure. We will talk about details of these terms in later videos, and denominator still remains the same, and when we do not consider any density difference or we consider gravity to be zero in the direction of flow, this term cancels out, and if we do not consider capillary pressure, this term cancels out, and we get the same equation as I have written here. So this is the complete fractional flow equation, where for flow of water we are using this form of Darcy's law and we are using this form for flow of oil. So here we are considering pressure of water and pressure of oil are different, and gravity is also there. So today we will try to solve this equation for the boundary conditions that I have written here, but I will explain in the next slide. So now what is happening, that we have a one dimensional core, you can say, or in a reservoir you can also consider that we have a line of injectors and we have then a line of producers, and in that we are injecting water, and if we are injecting water, due to symmetry we will form a no flow boundary conditions at these lines. So I will show these lines by black, where we will form no flow boundary conditions, and because of these no flow boundary conditions we will get a unidirectional flow, and we will say that this direction is X. So the analysis that we will do now can also be applied to these simple reservoirs where we have line drive. That means we are injecting water and we are producing oil and water, and water and oil are flowing in form of line. Or we can consider in laboratory we have a core where we are injecting water, we are not injecting oil, and we are producing oil and water. So for this kind of porous medium, this equation can be used as mass balance equation. So this is the governing equation for saturation, how saturation changes with time and space. And here we also know that Fw comes in, and Fw is a function of Sw only. So Fw is dependent on KRO, mu, KRW and mu W, and KRO and mu, as we have discussed in our previous video, is only a function of Sw. So this whole equation has secondary variable as Sw. Now coming to the boundary conditions or initial conditions. Initially in a reservoir we have connate water saturation. We have discussed this in the very initial videos, that at time t is equal to 0, when the reservoir is discovered, we have connate water saturation. So that is the saturation we have for all x. But when we start injecting water, either at the wells here or in a core here, then we assume that instantaneously for all t's, t greater than equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, where we are injecting water, the saturation of water becomes 1 minus SOR. So if we look at the relative permeability curve, the saturation will become 1 minus SOR. So this saturation we will encounter instantaneously when we start injecting water at the injection point. So in this slide I will introduce how different quantities look. So now we know that relative permeability, how it looks, and relative permeability of oil and relative permeability of water. What are the boundary conditions and how do they look? So here I am showing the boundary conditions. So here you see that this is the initial condition, that initially at all x we have saturation SWC. So do not confuse that with this picture of the core. So that means whole volume of this core we have saturation of water, where water is sporadic, and if we can take an REV, the saturation of water in any REV will come out to be SWC. And when we start injecting water, then what happens, that at the boundary here we immediately get water saturation that is very high, and only a little bit of oil is left here. So that means our oil saturation is SOR and our water saturation becomes high, which is 1 minus SOR. So our water saturation will be at this point. So this is how our boundary condition will look. Now in the mass balance equation we are using Fw. So how does Fw look as a function of Sw? So now let us take a few points. So first of all, let's take point SWC. At SWC we know that we will use Fw formula, which is given by this. At SWC the connate water saturation is there, and at SWC the relative permeability of water is 0 and relative permeability of oil is maximum. So let us consider this is KRO max. So if we substitute that in this Fw, then what do we get? We get a constant quantity here, which is KRO max divided by mu, which is divided by a quantity which is 0 or approaching 0. So that means this quantity approaches infinity. So that means Fw at this point is 1 by 1 plus something approaching infinity. So this quantity actually approaches 0. So that is why we have Fw is equal to 0. And physically also we can say that when in the whole reservoir we have saturation as SWC, so that means water is sporadic and disconnected. at that point water will not be flowing in the reservoir. So now move to other end point. That means we have 1 minus SOR as SW. At this point we know that this is the relative permeability of the two phases. So that means at this point oil is not moving and only water is moving. So when only water is moving, so that means our FW in that case will be 1 by 1 plus 0 by mu O divided by some KRW max divided by mu W. So this will be equal to 1. So that is why we have FW equal to 1 at 1 minus SOR. Physically also we can see that when oil is not moving, then only thing that will be moving is water. So that means at this point QT is equal to QW. So that means only water is moving. So that means FW is equal to 1. So this is some of the explanation of some of the quantities that we are using. So next we come to how do we solve this to find SW at a given X and at a given time. Now before we go on to solving this equation for SW, given this as FW and given the boundary conditions, what I want to do is I want to non-dimensionalize this equation. So in a reservoir we can have any distance between an injector and a producer. In laboratory also we can have a core of different lengths. So if we keep taking these lengths and the times in seconds or volume in meter cubes, then we need to carry these units with us all the time. And then should we use field units or should we use SI units will become a problem. So what I will do is I will non-dimensionalize this equation. So after we non-dimensionalize, you can use this and put dimensions after you have solved these equations. So to non-dimensionalize length, I am using xi as non-dimensional length and xi is equal to x divided by L, where L is the distance between the injection and production points. So let us non-dimensionalize the equations. That dfw by dx is what we want, where we have x coming. So that means this will become del fw by del xi multiplied by d xi by dx by chain rule, and d xi by dx from here is 1 by L. So I have just substituted 1 by L here, and now this quantity of del fw by del x I can substitute using this in the equation, and that is the only thing that I have done here. I have just substituted del fw by del x in form of del fw by del z. And then here when I come here, I have taken this qt by L on the other side and taken the inverse of this. So phi L divided by qt del sw by del t plus del fw by del xi is equal to 0. Here we see that now only dimensional things are L, qt and t. SW is non-dimensional, it is the saturation fraction of volume which is occupied by water. FW is also fractional flow of water which is non-dimensional. So now I propose tau, which is non-dimensional time, as qt multiplied by t divided by phi L. Why I am proposing this? This is very interesting. So qt multiplied by t multiplied by area. What does this become? qt multiplied by area is the total volumetric flow rate of water. So if we are just considering injection, we are considering only x is equal to 0 or xi is equal to 0, then qt is equal to qw. In that case, qt multiplied by A will tell us the total amount of water flow rate that we are injecting. And if we multiply it with T, where T is from 0 to T, the time duration through which water injection has happened, then QT multiplied by T multiplied by area will give me the total volume of water that I have injected. Now if I divide this by phi L, here also if I multiply with cross sectional area, and you will see that area will cancel out, but phi LA, what is AL? AL is the area multiplied by length, which is the total volume. Total volume multiplied by porosity will give me the pore volume. So what I am doing here is I am multiplying the volume of water injected divided by PV. So that means tau is my physical quantity which gives me the fraction or the total number of pore volumes injected. So suppose tau is equal to 1. In that case, you have injected 1 pore volume. If tau is 0.5, that means the volume of water that you have injected is half of the total pore volume of your porous medium. If tau is equal to 2, so that means the total volume of water that you have injected is equal to twice the volume of the pores in the porous medium. So this is very clever way of non-dimensionalizing time. And now we see what happens if we use this non-dimensionalized time. Now time here comes with SW, del SW by del T. So del SW by del T can be written as del SW by del tau multiplied by d tau by dt. Now d tau by dt will become Qt by phi L if we use this equation. So del SW by del T, we can replace this here. So if we replace this, we already had phi L by Qt, del SW by del tau, Qt by phi L comes from here, the second Qt by phi L, and this will cancel out. So now because this cancels out, this is our non-dimensional equation now, which does not have any phi or Qt. It is just an equation between SW, FW, tau, which is the number of pore volumes injected, and xi, which is the non-dimensional length. And now the boundary conditions will also become that at tau is equal to 0, which is the initial condition at all xi. So at that means in all the space parameters, SW is equal to SWC. So initially the water is Cournot water saturation. For all tau, tau greater than 0, at xi is equal to 0, SW is equal to 1 minus SOR. So that means immediately here we have 1 minus SOR, which we have discussed in the previous slide. So these are some of the information that will be useful when we start solving this Berkeley-Leverett equation in the next week. Thank you.